Warning, Hebrews Toys Reviews is not intended for children. It is for adult collectors and the people over the age of 18.
Hey everybody, Hebrew77 here, and today is show and tell because I will be talking about the toy haul that I got from Evansville Toys Games. And if you haven't done it already, please go back and watch that video. It's a very cool video about a very cool place with a very cool story behind it, where I even interview Daniel Barrett. And also, if you're around Evansville, Indiana, go check out Evansville Toys and Games. Now, this may have to be a two-parter, as we do have quite a bit we got to get through. So without any further ado, let's get to the toy haul from Evansville Toy and Games. A lot of Star Trek figures from Evansville Toys and Games, as you can see here. There's more. There's more! We'll be going over them one at a time. In fact, I may have to do a whole Star Trek month starting next month in September. We'll see how that goes. Let's start over here with a Geordi LaForge from the very last show, All Good Things. As you can see here, he has kind of a mustache and a soul patch going on. And of course he has no visors, but those are sort of like biomechanical eyes. Just like he has in First Contact. So a little something I think that the writers might have gone back to. They're like, oh, let's give him biomechanical eyes so he won't have to wear the visor. I think for a long time, LeVar Burton did complain about the visor. And one thing I want to note is that this originally came from Venture and was $4.99. Now, for those of you that don't know, Venture was a store around the 80s and 90s. I didn't realize it held up until the 90s. This, let's see, the final season of Star Trek, I believe, was 94. It came out in 95. So, maybe it was 95. Exclusive Skybox Playmates Star Trek collection card included, as seen in the series finale, All Good Things, of course. And then you have, like, he has sort of like a purple sweatshirt and blue jeans, dungaree style blue jeans with sort of a brown sash. And almost looks like they just put him in his Star Trek boots or whatever. And, okay, there's the card. And here's some of his things. We have a teacup. Looks like maybe a tricorder, a book of some kind. And of course, in typical fashion, the Playmates always package these guys with their own personal little computer things. I know it's not a computer, but it's like a little computer comm. The action base that they all stand on. Let's look at the back here, and I probably won't do this for all of these, as we do have a lot to go over. You can see all of the figures that are upcoming in the Star Trek Next Generation toy line, as well as the Deep Space Nine toy line, and the classic Star Trek toy line, which came out around this time as well. And you have his Starfleet incident report. Usually when I review G.I. Joes, I review all of I read their file cards and stuff, but I don't really need to read this. If you guys are true Star Trek fans, you'll know the deal. But anyway, you got Geordi LaForge here. Hold on. And really, he kind of reminds me of Lucius Fox. In fact, when I do my stop-motion Batman movies, I often use a Geordi LaForge that I modified to have a mustache and blue eyeballs to be a Lucius Fox in my stop-motion Batman movies. And now I could just use this one if I choose to take him out of the package. But anyway, that's it for this figure. Let's move on. Since we're into All Good Things, here is a Captain Picard I picked up. He is from All Good Things. And this one is kind of splashed all over the package. All Good Things. Action collectors, each figure individually numbered. From Playmates, Skybox collector card included Jean-Luc Picard, retired Starfleet captain. And here you can see Captain Picard from his winery. He's out there in the fields tying up his plants. And that's about the time that Geordi comes to visit him. This, of course, is an alternate reality and not in the current timeline of Star Trek. I don't want to get into all that. But he's a good little figure with his Farmer John hat on and Farmer John overalls. And well, not really Farmer John overalls, I don't guess. Those are just suspenders holding up his pants. And he comes with some sort of case here with a computerized thingamajig and drill. And I'm sure there's some stuff behind there. Let's take a look on the back and see what he officially has. Carrying case used for holding Picard's gardening tools. It says implements. Scanner. Okay, so he's got a scanner and a gardening tool. A handheld device used to sow and cultivate Picard's vineyard in France. It looks like a gun. Just looks like a gun. And of course he comes with a action base, as they call it. And as you look on the back of this particular card back, you can see it's slightly different. In fact, it's a whole lot different when compared to the one that's on the back of Geordi LaForge's card back. The heads for the cross promotion are smaller and whatnot have you, and it has other. It says now available Deep Space Nine. This must have been, he must have been the first figure on the line, on the All Good Things series line. So good to have. This one did not come with Venture. And by the way, I wanted to point out before we move on here which one of these figures came from Venture. Here's another Picard. We'll go ahead and look at him next. This was back in 1990. Hold on. All of these figures came out in 1995, and a lot of figures came out. The show came out in 1989 or 1988, somewhere around there, and started and then ended in 95. These figures, I don't think a lot of the figures came out when the show was first coming out. I'm not sure. But anyway, the Venture price, as you see here, and this may even be just like this may not even be the original retail price of $4.99. $4.99, and Evansville Toys and Games has it priced at $7.99. So think about this. Mint on card. These are carded figures. Think about this. It's been 30 to 35 years since 1995. Well, maybe not quite that long, but at least 30 years since 1995. And the price or the value of these figures has only increased. And these prices are really reasonable, but you can get on eBay and you can find prices very similar to this. They're not that much higher, if any higher at all. So he's right in line with some of the prices on there. Although, you know, the shipping on eBay is going to be way high to inflate it. So I would suggest buying from his store or any other small business. But yeah, buy from his. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that 1995, $4.99. So the price has only increased by a couple bucks. $2, maybe $3. And this is anywhere. You find prices like that anywhere on these Playmates, Star Trek Next Generation figures. I mean, it is just amazing. Which means they either made an overabundance of these things, or people just aren't that interested in Star Trek Next Generation figures. So it's a saturated market. And I will talk about that on some other show. But now that we have the figure in front of us, let's move on and go ahead and talk about this figure. This is Captain Picard as Gallon. And Gallon was a character as seen in the episode The Gambit. I'm not really too sure if that was the episode where he's in an alternate dimension. I don't think he is. There was an episode where he lived an entirely different lifetime, but I don't think that was the Gambit. I could be mistaken. But anyway, the only reason why I actually picked this up is because it looks like he's in plain clothes. So this would be a good plain clothes Picard to have. You know, outside of his uniform and stuff. Even though he's dressed as, I'm sure, a villager from a different planet. Like a planet, whatever he's on, trying to portray or whatever. But let's take a look at his accessories. As we have on the back here, it says... Alien... What? Oh, hand disruptor. And alien pad... I'm not sure what that is. A lightweight electronic device used for storing information and retrieving data similar to Starfleet technology. Okay. Alien desktop science monitor. View screen used to display empirical data. And Stone of Gaul, a sonic monitor. This mystical crystal allows its holder to kill with thoughts. Oh, okay. I think I know what episode this is. Was this the episode where the Romulan, like he went undercover trying to find this artifact, and then like the Romulan got a hold of the artifact, which she was pretending to be a good guy, I think, at first, and then she became a bad guy, and she was working for the Shellyak, and then all of a sudden, not the Shellyak, Tajiyar. I keep calling it Tasha Yar. Tasha Yar was the pretty detailed. You know who Tasha Yar was. Anyway, yeah, so I think she tried to kill people. They had to think positive thoughts. Anyway, I'm going way too deep on this. This is an action figure review. Well, this is more of my toy haul. So, yes, a very good figure for a very good price. Evansville Toys and Games. Check it out. On here, I have two Guinan figures. Both of them have giant hats and red dresses. This is the only variant of Guinan that I don't have, or I didn't have, that has different colored dress and a smaller hat. She doesn't have the big floppy pizza pan hat, as I call it. And she does come with the same exact accessories, the coffee mug and wine glass and tray, and of course the usual computer thing, and her figure stand. However, this variant of Guinan is very limited on her poses, as this comes from Star Trek Generations toy line, which was very notorious for being cheap, delivering cheap action figures that were very limited on their posing abilities and so forth. And as you can see here on the back, the cross cells, or the heads, are quite bigger than what they are in the next generation, the regular next generation cross cells of the cards. And then of course you have a promotional movie poster which came with all of these figures. And there is a engineering playset which I have. And so there you go. There's Guinan from Generations. At this point, I don't know if we're going to do a part 2 or not. But let's move on. This is Commander Riker as, and I hope I'm saying this name correctly, Malkoranian. I don't know. But anyway, is seen on First Contact. Interestingly enough, the same name of this episode was the name of the movie. Has absolutely nothing to do with the movie. But an interesting concept is Commander Riker is dressed as these people from this alien planet, which himself turns out to have alien DNA. Well, at least to them, it's DNA that they've never seen before amongst their kind. So then they suspect that he is an alien, which, when you think about it, you know, if you're not from here, like, for example, I'm a human being and I come to your planet and I look exactly like you, I walk amongst you, I talk your same language, but my DNA is significantly different than yours, then yes, I would be considered an alien. And in the episode, there's a funny moment where a scientist woman, he's trying to get free from them. He's trying to escape, and she offers to help him escape only if she can have sex with him. That's right. A scientist woman wants to do the nasty with Commander Riker. What are the odds, right? But not because he's a handsome, actually desirable young man. No, because he's an alien and she's always wanted to have a sexual encounter with an alien. Hey, I said this program's not for kids, right? So anyway, oh my goodness, I could go on, but we have such a short time here on the show. The reason why I picked him, even though he looks sort of alien, like he's got the little ridges there on the head, and maybe his ears are a little pointier, he doesn't look too much different than Commander Riker. He just looks like perhaps a grumpier version of Commander Riker. And I wanted a Commander Riker who's sort of in pajamas, or in like a out of his uniform, if you will. Not in that way. I didn't want him out of his uniform, but You know what I'm saying, like in regular clothes. And this is the closest you're going to get to having him where he's in regular clothes. And you can always say, well, the ridges up there are just like, I don't know, he's putting on the play for Dr. Crusher or something. Anyway, this Commander Riker comes with, wait for it, space caps. That's right, the most popular space caps. Also, you had DC hero caps, and you had, what do you call it? Marvel super caps, and so forth and so on. But yeah, these things were popular back in the day, and they kind of brought them back a little bit in the mid 2000s, but then they became unpopular again. So let's see the accessories he comes with. Turn over the back here, and Maclorian syringe. He comes with a phaser, Type 2 hand phaser, it says here. Maclorian monitor for monitoring most life functions, so on. Maclorian medical scanner. So there you go. That's the accessories this one comes with. And you can see the cross cell there on the back. So, with all that being said, we may just move on to part 2. So if you hear me say part 2, or stay tuned for part 2 somewhere in this episode, then go on to part 2. So I'll pause right here, and let's move on.